So, could you please state your name?
Allison Mulally.
And could you please spell your first and last name for the court reporter?
Alison, Mulally, Mullally.
And do you practice a profession?
Yes, I'm an OB-GYN.
And so, would that mean you are Dr. Mulally?
Yes, I'm a physician.
And how long have you been practicing?
I've been practicing for about 30 years if you include residency.
And don't need to go into all that much detail about your educational background, but where did you go to undergraduate and then medical school?
Undergraduate at UT Knoxville, and then I went to medical school at UT Memphis, and I did my residency at UT Memphis also.
And with respect to the specialty, would that be the obstetrics, gynecology?
Yes, that was the 4 years of residency.
OB-GYN.
Oh, yes, obstetrics and gynecology.
And has that been essentially your primary, if not only, area of practice for the last 45, 30 years?
Yes.
Where is your practice currently located?
I'm at Vanderbilt Franklin Women's Center, which is in Franklin, Tennessee, and it's right next to Williamson Medical Center.
So is it a part of the Vanderbilt medical umbrella?
Yes, it's part of VUMC, but I don't practice at Vanderbilt Hospital. We just do our deliveries and our surgeries at Williamson Medical Center.
So is it a essentially full service there where you can do examinations all the way through delivery?
Yes, our office is right in sort of in front of the hospital where we do our deliveries.
All right. And how long have you been at that specific location?
Since August of 2001.
So then were you there in 2022 and on into
Yes.
2023?
Yes.
And during a time in late 2022, did you come to have a patient named Jade Benning?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately when she became your patient?
She came to see me for her first OB visit on November 16th of 22.
And was there any, was she a referral? Did you have any relative of hers as a patient?
Well, no, I have known her stepmother for a long time.
Oh.
Andrea, yes.
So was that a connection at least
Yes.
through the acquaintanceship?
Yes.
And I believe you said she came to you November 16th. That was the first
Yes.
visit. Had you ever met Ms. Benning before?
No.
Or had her as a patient?
No, she had been seen in our office by one of the nurse practitioners, but I hadn't seen her before.
Okay. Tell us about that first visit. What occurred? What did you do? Did you obtain a history from Ms. Benning?
Yes. So it was a routine first OB visit. She had had a positive pregnancy test at home. And so saw her, took her history, vital signs, and did a pelvic exam. And then we do just a bedside pelvic ultrasound, just a vaginal ultrasound to confirm dates. And so all of that was done. And everything.
Oh, pardon me for interrupting. Was the information you gained from Ms. Benning and the information she provided, the history, was that for the purpose of medical diagnosis and treatment?
Yes.
Were those obtained for that purpose?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the ultrasound confirmed her dates, and then she had her prenatal screen labs done. And then she scheduled for her next visit in six weeks from then.
With respect to that initial examination, what was her appearance and demeanor, if you recall?
Very normal and pleasant.
Physically, how was she?
Very normal. Her physical exam was normal. Her vital signs were all normal.
Did she present with any illness, any pre-existing condition that warranted medical attention?
No.
With respect to confirming the pregnancy, is that the time that you, as a doctor, estimate a due date?
Yes.
And how is that, what is a due date and how is that arrived at?
Well, we start by using the first day of the last menstrual period, and then conception generally is a couple of weeks after that. So we start with that, and then the due date is 40 weeks from that. So her due date was estimated to be June 19th, and which went along with her period and coincided with the 9-week ultrasound that I did.
So everything matched.
Mm-hmm.
And the ability to get that due date, was that in part because of the history she had given you?
Yes.
And so everything was consistent?
Yes.
Now, what is the precision, if any, of the due date? How close is that to the hours, minutes?
It's pretty precise, especially since it coincided with the early ultrasound, which is very accurate at estimating. So, within 3 days or 5 days, it's very accurate since it coincided with her period.
The first visit and examination, were there any concerns about her ability to keep the pregnancy going?
No.
Now, I'll go ahead and ask this as part of her history that you learned at that time, or later, that she had had a previous pregnancy.
Yes, it was in the history that she had had a prior pregnancy, and I don't recall if she had had a miscarriage or a termination. A lot of patients don't like to discuss that, so I don't really dwell on that for very long. So it's documented in the record, just non-specifically.
Is that relevant to
It's
the
not.
treatment that you would provide or did provide?
No.
And first appointment, was she there on time?
Yes.
Do you recall whether or not anyone came with her to that first appointment?
I believe she was by herself. I know she never had a male partner with her. I think Andrea may have come to an appointment or two, but it was maybe at a later one.
Okay. By Andrea, Miss Browning?
Yes.
The next appointment. Did she keep that appointment?
Yes.
Is she on time?
Yes.
Do you recall her appearance, demeanor at that?
Normal and happy to be there.
Okay. When you say happy to be there, what do you mean by that?
Engaging and interested in information and appropriate concerns. And
Did she express to you any concerns about the pregnancy?
no.
Or the opposite, any happiness about it?
I remember her being happy about it, but I can't remember anything specific
Okay.
about that.
Suffice to say, was there anything unusual about her actions or appearance,
No.
anything to do with it?
No.
And just briefly, I don't need to go into specific details, but what was the second visit? What did it entail?
The second visit is usually when I do the breast exam part of the exam. I go over the prenatal labs, and we just listen to the fetal heart tones with the Doppler. And then at that visit, she would get scheduled for her 20-week ultrasound at her next visit.
At that second visit, was there any concern on your part about her ability to carry the child to term?
No, everything looked good.
The ultrasound, you recall approximately when that was?
It was at 20 weeks. I think the date was February 2nd, I think.
Hang on just a second. Would you have them have a seat, Miss Haney? All right, then if there's not room, just leave. If there's not room, just leave. can't be distracting things. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, February 2nd. Now, are you present for that, or how is that scheduled and operated?
No, I'm not present for that. That's done in a separate room in our office with the ultrasound tech, and then the maternal fetal medicine doctors read the report, and the report comes to me.
Okay. And did that occur in this particular case?
Yes.
Now, on that February the 2nd, 2023 date, would Ms. Benning have known the results or been given the results of the ultrasound?
I called her, I think, on the 6th with the results because there was not really an abnormality, but a soft finding for a soft marker for Down syndrome. So what we do in that case, it was an intracardiac echogenic focus, and that's not a problem with the heart in and of itself. But we offer genetic testing because she didn't do that before, so we offered her genetic testing because if the genetic testing is normal, then we know that it's just a normal variant and it's nothing to worry about. So I talked to her on the phone and discussed the results, and she decided she did want to do the genetic testing just to make sure everything was okay. And so she came in and had that drawn. I can't remember the date of that. Maybe that was the 6th. I can't remember.
And was that testing done, and was there anything of concern?
No, that testing was done and it was normal.
And was Ms. Benning told that?
Yes.
And you recall what, if any, reaction she had to that?
Well, I think one of the nurses called her. I didn't call her for that, but
Okay. Did you see her again?
I didn't see her after 20 weeks,
Okay.
after the 3rd visit.
All right. Well, that's what I say.
Yes.
Third actual visit, not counting the ultrasound.
Right, so I saw her for her 3rd visit just after she'd had the ultrasound. She had had the genetic testing drawn, but it wasn't back yet.
Okay. Well, tell us about that visit.
Oh, it was a good visit. I mean, I reassured her again that this likely was nothing to worry about, and you know, she was just waiting for the testing to come back.
Okay. Did she arrive on time?
Mm-hmm.
And you know whether or not anyone came with her to this visit?
I don't recall for sure.
Now, if anyone would have come with her, would you have met that person?
Yes.
As opposed to them just staying in the parking lot, or is there a waiting room? And depending on who it is, can they actually come back and be with the patient?
Yes, there's a waiting room and then a sub-waiting room, and sometimes the nurse will room the patient, and then we'll get the partner back or whoever's with them.
Again, on February the 10th, I was calling the 3rd visit. Was she progressing normally?
Yes.
And again, other than waiting for the genetic testing, were there any concerns about her ability at that time to carry the child to term?
No.
What was her demeanor, appearance about that visit?
It was normal.
Did she ever express any concerns or any hesitancy about wanting to have this child?
No.
Now, as part of the history that you obtained, are there certain things that an expectant mother should not do? As in drinking, drugs, probably any number of things.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And did you have those kind of discussions with Ms. Benning?
Yes, I always take a history to make sure they're not doing any drugs or alcohol or smoking or vaping.
Okay.
And I would note it if she was.
Was there any indication she was doing any of that?
No.
And at any time during the visits, did it appear that she was taking anything that you would have told her not to?
No.
You'll ask about did she ever miss any visit? Was there any visit scheduled that she missed?
No.
And did the name Blaise Taylor ever come up in any conversation or any history?
No.
Just given? Did that name mean anything to you at all?
No.
Did there come a time when you found, prior to what would have been her next scheduled appointment, that she had been admitted to Vanderbilt Hospital?
Yes. I don't remember when that was, but I got a call from one of the MFM doctors just to let me know. Said she was my patient.
And was there anything that you could do at that point?
No.
And as of, let's say, February the 25th, maybe ask you to do some math, but based upon the calculations, what week would she have been approximately?
She was a little over 23 weeks. I think 23 weeks and 5 or 6 days.
And again, you've told us how that is estimated and how that is arrived at within a very narrow time frame. Is there an ability to judge that just upon observation of a patient?
You mean
By
on
looking.
exam?
By just looking?
No, it would be a very rough estimate.
That appointment that she was not able to make, what would have happened at that?
We would have measured the fundal height, listened to the heartbeat, and she would have had her gestational diabetes screening test.
You told us about her being advised of the ultrasound. Would she have known the sex of the child she was carrying?
Yes,
And
it was a girl.
did you know? I was going to say. Or if I could have this packet, which council has reviewed,
Okay.
past business. Dr. Mulally, you're being handed a packet of materials and some paper clips, keep them separate, but could you review those and see if those appear to be the Vanderbilt University or basically your medical records of Miss Jade Benning and your treatment of her?
Yes, these are all my call records from our office, from my office.
Your Honor, I would tender those as exhibit number 4.
Okay.
That's right, collected exhibit.
No objections, Your Honor.
All right.
Dr. Mulally, as far as your treatment and care of Ms. Benning, was she doing all the right things to become a mother?
Yes.
Those are my questions.
Or questions on behalf of the defendant?
Yes. If I could just have one moment. Dr. Mulally, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am good, thank you. I am Letitia Quinones Collins. Can I ask you a few questions? At any time you don't understand, let me know. I'll do my best to rephrase.
Okay.
Thank you. Just a few questions for you, Dr. Mulally. Will you tell me, am I saying that right, Dr.
Mulally.
Mulally? Okay. Dr. Mulally, can you tell me have you been able to determine when Ms. Benning would have become pregnant based on your examination of her?
Well, by her dates, she would have conceived roughly 2 weeks after her first day of her last period.
Okay. And the first day of her last period was what?
I don't remember that. I have to look.
Will you trust me if I tell you that I just looked in the records that you just reviewed and we got into evidence? If that date was, patient's last menstrual period was September 12th, 2022?
Yes.
Do you see that there on page 1 of 8?
Yes.
And so then you would tell me then that her date of conception would have been 2 weeks after that?
Yes.
And that would put us, September has 30 days in it, does it not?
Yes.
And if we put 14 days past that, that puts us at September 26th. Is that right?
Yes.
So then we would be safe to say that by September 26th of 22, Ms. Benning would have been pregnant.
Roughly, yes.
And what day was she in your office?
November 16th.
And that is the day that she was diagnosed, if that's the proper term, of being pregnant.
Well, it was confirmed to be an intrauterine pregnancy.
Okay, confirmed to be pregnant. Fair enough. So would it then be safe to say that if September was the last time she had a period, she did not have a period then in October?
Correct.
Now, you stated on direct examination that the patient did not or was not involved in any drugs, to your knowledge. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, to be fair, you did not test her for drugs, did you?
No.
So you're only going off of what she's sharing with you. Is that right?
Yes, and somewhat by her vital signs and her demeanor.
Okay. But you'll agree with me that certainly someone's vital signs and demeanor is not indicative as to whether or not they're using drugs.
Not always, correct.
Would it be surprising to know that Ms. Benning had sent a message to Ms. Jade Jackson that she was doing so much Adderall and
I
alcohol?
object to the hearsay that's be outside the scope of the witness's knowledge.
May I respond?
And whether it's surprising or not is relevant.
What's your response?
Yes, there's just been an allegation that Ms. Benning has not done any drugs and or
You said
alcohol.
to her knowledge. Now, they're objecting to hearsay.
It's in regards to
So
impeachment.
if you want to ask, does she have any information about that?
Dr. McLeod, did you know that, or would you have known that Ms. Benning had felt that she was doing so much alcohol and Adderall that it was
All right, I'll
causing?
sustain the objection.
Can I give you a hypothetical?
Yes.
If a patient,
Object, this witness has not been tendered as an
Hypothetical
expert.
about what?
about a patient doing drugs or alcohol.
You want
Ma'am.
to ask this doctor if they want their patient using alcohol or Adderall while they're pregnant?
No, I don't. What I would like to do,
What's your question?
what I would like to
What's
do,
your question?
my question is whether or not, based on this doctor's statement, that Ms. Benning was not doing drugs and or alcohol, and that she would be able to tell by her vital signs.
Is that your question you're wanting to ask this lady?
The question I would like to ask her is whether or not someone feeling as though they're doing so much Adderall and alcohol, their body is shutting
She
down.
doesn't have any knowledge about that, and I'm sustaining the hearsay objection.
So am I not allowed to ask
I
this?
sustain the hearsay objection about your question.
Let me ask you in another way, if I may. Did Ms. Benning ever share with you that she was doing Adderall?
No.
Did she ever share with you that in November she was doing mushrooms?
No.
Did she ever share with you that she was doing alcohol?
No.
Did she ever share with you as her medical professional that she felt like she was doing so much Adderall and alcohol that her body was shutting down?
No.
If she would have shared that with you, would that change your previous statement in regards to that she was not doing any drugs?
she told you she was using drugs, that would change your opinion about whether she was using drugs, is what she's asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Very, thank you. But what you've just represented to this jury, is it not, Dr. Mulally, was that based on your knowledge and representations to you by Ms. Benning, she was not doing any drugs or alcohol at all. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other? Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
May this witness be excused?
Sure. You get your, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna break for lunch. Just remember what I said about not discussing the case, forming any opinion about it, the other admonitions I gave you yesterday. We'll get back here in 1 hour. You can step down the hall.